Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Minister. And I wouldn't for a minute, Minister, say that you're a person who doesn't have concern for back to school. And I welcome the expenditure that you've secured in terms of advanced steps. I'd like to go back to, I suppose, those that are outside the back to school and what recent surveys have shown the average cost of sending a child now being nearly €1,200 and nearly €1,500 for a secondary school child. And also the Irish League of Credit Unions had a recent survey showing that nearly 24% of families getting into debt at this time of year. So it is a significant cost, and the costs are rapidly rising as well, you know. So I welcome your announcements on the subsidising of school transport and the additions that you've outlined. But I'm just wondering, are we doing enough to really get at the core of school costs? And one of the issues that I have is school contributions, which I think every family face this time of year, Minister. It's very hard to avoid them, and it's very hard for kids to feel that they're excluded. They're being sent home with, envelopes asking for school contributions, and the parents are really, really struggling. And maybe it's time to look at capitation. And could you talk to the Minister for Education about increasing capitation to schools nationally?
Minister.
Thank you. Well, just in relation to increased capitation, that would be a matter for the Minister for Education. But I have to say that I think that the free school transport is a big boost to a lot of families, because that costs in the region of about, I think it is 500, or that you have to pay for the school transport. So that would be a big help to families that had that cost, because now that cost has been waived for this year, so they don't have to worry, and that will help. Give them that bit extra money that maybe they can put towards the other costs going back to school. But I think, to be fair, Deputy, €260 for an under 11 and €385 for over 11 or for 12 upwards it does represent a good help. And it was never designed to cover all the costs of going back to school. And I do understand, it is a very expensive time for parents. I absolutely know that. I worked in the credit union, I saw it myself. And but as I said, we have increased them, and it's an extra 26 million this year towards the cost of going back to school.
Minister, as you know, many people in receipt of social welfare payments are not included in the list of those receiving allowances, and those may be on rent supplements and guardian payments and blind benefits. So there are people still outside the supports who need it, and I have specific concerns for what I would call the squeezed middle now, where you have two working parents potentially in a family. Their income doesn't allow them to get any support from the state in terms of back to school, and yet they are the ones who are doing the commuting, they're doing the drops, they're paying for childcare largely. And I'm just wondering, how can we try and give support to those? These are the productive people in the economy who are making PRSI contributions through their employment. They're seeing significant uptick in the costs of living, and unfortunately it's not being reflected in their take-home pay. And I think, Minister, we'd all agree we want to give all our children the best chance of education, but that requires us to ensure that home families have the financial ability to provide that opportunity without being driven into penury. And I would ask that we would do more to increase the eligibility of people who are in that squeezed middle bracket.
Minister.
Thank you. Well, just to say, Deputy, that the Government already has, over the last number of months, announced the €2.4 billion package to help people address the cost of living and the cost of fuel. Now, I'm the Minister for Social Protection, and my priority is to assist those on low and fixed incomes and to help people, keep people out of poverty. And that's my #1 priority. Now, we have the working family payment, and I understand that there are people that don't qualify for this payment, and they're working hard, and I accept that, but the best way to support them is through a comprehensive tax package. And you know that the Government has committed to providing a very comprehensive tax package of over €1 billion in the coming budget, and that's only about, I think it's less than 11 weeks away now. And I think that that's how we can help those people who don't qualify for these payments. But I think you'll appreciate, as Minister for Social Protection, my #1 priority is to keep people out of poverty and to target those that are on low incomes and most in need.
Thanks, Minister.